Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Marywood women's basketball. Tara Macciocco is joining us right now. And Tara, a pretty good year for you. These girls, the home girls are doing pretty well, that's for sure. Doing a great job coaching, 12-5 mark. Tell us about the run that these girls have put together.
They work extremely hard and have been working extremely hard at getting better at little things that we're focusing in on. It's a different group for me to coach. This is my 10th year, and it's probably the first year that we're a more offensive-minded team than we are defensive-minded. So it was a little bit of adjustment for us as a staff as well with this group. But they could really put some points on the board, and when they get going, they're fun to watch.
Well, a lot of local talent, that's for sure. But they had to get to know each other a little bit, and they got a year under their belt with that. Tell us how you think they're doing cohesively now.
I think having the three transfers come in last year at midpoint in January took some adjusting to, and I think now they're starting to gel a little bit more. We really do a pretty good job of sharing the basketball. We at one point were in the top 25 in the country in assists per game. So I think they're starting to learn who to get the ball to at the right time, and then they always understand when to make that extra pass to get it to the shooters.
How difficult is that? Because, I mean, just about every girl you have was the top girl on their team. So they were the go-to girl. Now they're dishing it and giving it up for some of the other girls. So they really are, as you say, just doing the great thing. And that's hard to do, I think, hard to make that adjustment.
Yeah, I think on any given night, any one of them could really go off in a sense and score a bunch of points here and there. And I think, like I said before, that they've started to understand when someone has the hot hand. For example, on Wednesday when Ashley Murray had a hot hand, we continued to get her the basketball and found ways to get her the basketball. But it could be any one of them on any given night. Brittany Mang has had a few games where she's been in the high 20s. She had one last year. She was in the 30s. That they kind of understood, hey, she's making a couple shots. Let's figure out ways to get her the basketball. And I think that makes us a difficult team to defend, because any one of those young ladies can step up and score it at any point. There's a few of them that have done a pretty good job of adjusting to a different role, because Alexa Gershman, for example, in high school, scored it a little bit more than she does now, and now she's become a very good passer, and she really understands whose hands to put the ball in at the right time in the game. So they've made adjustments, but they do understand when it comes down to crunch time, whose hands the ball should be in.
We're talking with Tara Macciocco here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Well, Coach, there must be some of that coal miner blood in these girls, because you get a girl from Northeast PA, you don't find many girls that are tougher, per se. And one of those girls is Brittany Mang. She's just a tough, physical player out there for you.
She is amazing. I don't know how she does what she does in such a small body. She steps in front of the 6'1" center driving down the middle of the lane. She steps in front of a 5'10" guard that's flying at full speed ahead to take charges, dives on the floor after every loose ball. She gives it 110% every time out on the floor. She's actually playing right now with a broken thumb. The tip of her thumb is broken. She has it all taped up and bandaged up and just is relentless out on the floor. Definitely a coach's dream to have a kid like that on your team.
Just throw some duct tape on it and get out there and play. I think that's her mentality.
Exactly.
Well, Coach, you got a big game coming up this weekend. Cabrini will be in town. Tell us about Cabrini.
Oh, we struggled with them a week ago down at their place. They're a very, very good defensive basketball team. We didn't have one of our better offensive performances. I think we'll be a little bit more prepared this year. Playing at home definitely gives us a little bit more of an advantage as well. And hopefully we can play our style a little bit more than we did down at their place, which is an up tempo, push the ball in transition, and get out and pressure them a little bit more this time. So they're big, and we're not. And I think we've made a couple adjustments over the last week to get a little bit better at rebounding the basketball with our height, and I think that will play in our favor as well.
Well, sometimes there's something to be said for quickness and some guards and some shooters that you do have on the team. And you talk about that offensive-minded team that you have and putting points on the board. Is there a goal, Coach, that you have each and every game? Hey, if we score more than 60, we feel pretty strong. Is there a number that you put up?
We don't put an offensive number. I always used to put a defensive number, and we stopped doing that as well. I think they're better. They're better going out and just playing. But we have talked about the fact that right now, if we score over 70 points in a game, we're 12-0. So that's going to become a goal that we've got to get. We've got to get the games above the 70s. When we play in the 50s and 60s, it's a little bit more difficult for us because we don't have that solid, hey, we need one stop, game's over. We have more of that, let's push tempo and get a couple more shots than they get. And in the beginning of the year, we also talked a little bit about three-point shooting and trying to get up a lot more threes than we have in the past, and we've done a pretty good job of doing that, taking around 17 or so a game, which has helped us tremendously. I think it helps that they've known each other for probably eight or so years, having played through the AAU circuit, the high school circuit. They've kind of grown up around each other, and it makes it a little bit more fun for them. They're all friends off the court. They're a great group of young ladies, probably one of the nicest groups that I've had in the 10 years that I'm at Marywood. So I think that helps with the chemistry and just them kind of wanting to win for each other, not just for Marywood, not just for the staff, but wanting to do it for each other. And I know that they really want to see these two seniors in Carly Lightsell and Brittany Mang go out on a good note, and they've been playing a lot of these games for them, and to make sure that they send them off with a couple wins here and hopefully get them into the conference championship and possibly play for a title.
Well, there's no time like the present. Marywood, you guys are doing a great job. 12-5, and of course, going into the weekend, it is a big test. Cabrini in town, so we'll see how it goes. Tara, thanks so much for taking some time out to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Tara Macciocco here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.